Genuinely, fuck the New York Times. The New York War Crimes is this organization that keeps track of the New York Times' complicity in war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. And they just came out with a dossier about how many New York Times reporters, editors, senior staffers have direct ties to Israel. And when I'm talking about directly involved, I'm saying within 1 degree or directly served in the IDF, or they live in a stolen home in occupied Palestine. And then they turn around and present themselves as neutral arbiters of truth on the situation because, of course, journalistic ethics just go out of the window when we're talking about Israel. I'm just going to list off a couple of examples, and you'll see how insane this stuff is. Meredith Kopit-Levien is the CEO of the New York Times Company, and until recently, she was also working for an organization whose main goal is to instill Zionism in Jewish kids. Joe Kahn, executive editor at the New York Times. His father, for almost 20 years, worked for CAMRA, which is basically Canary Mission, a Zionist harassment group. This guy is responsible for the Screams Without Words piece, which asserted, without evidence, that Hamas used sexual violence as a part of October 7. And then after that story was exposed for not being able to pass a journalistic ethics 101 test, he went on a racially motivated witch hunt against Arab and Muslim Times workers. Or David here, he's the Times political editor. He comes straight from the Jerusalem Bureau, where he had the opportunity to live in a house stolen from a Palestinian doctor, send his kids to Israeli schools, and become what the Times of Israel calls the New York Times' most Israel-friendly Jerusalem reporter. These are the people who have direct control over how the #1 newspaper in the world details Israel's genocide, and the higher up you go, it's just more and more connections to Israel, the IDF, and settlers occupying Palestine. So it's no wonder the New York Times will do shit like writing in passive voice whenever the IOF commits a blatant war crime, or saying Hamas-run health ministry whenever they're talking about death tolls. These people have no sort of journalistic ethics when it comes to Israel. They have every incentive in the world to twist the narrative.